Today I'm counting down my list for the top 10 best devil fruits in One Piece. This is based on the power of the devil fruit and how useful I think it is. This is all my personal opinion and it's up to date with the latest arc. So if you don't like my list, too bad, go cry about it and tell me in the comments what your list would be. So let's just jump right into it with number 10. And number 10 is Magellan's Venom fruit. First, I need to clear the air because this devil fruit was actually in a short I made about the worst devil fruits in One Piece. And I got an unbelievable amount of hate for trashing on this devil fruit. But I need to come clean. When I made that short, I hadn't even watched the Impel Down arc yet. But now I'm a changed man and I've seen this arc. And Magellan is seriously one powerful dude. I mean, did you see how close to death Luffy was? This fruit gives the user the power to control venom and form these dragon beasts and even shoot venom out of all parts of their body. This venom can kill most people after just touching it, and the only way to survive is using this antidote, which the average person will not have access to. The only downside of this fruit is that it gives the user extreme diarrhea, but I think that might just be if you're Magellan because this dude straight up eats the venom for some reason. It's still something to think about though. Number 9, I got Zakazuki's Magu Magu no Mi. For one, this fruit is the thing that killed Ace, and Ace is fire itself. But sadly, magma is way stronger, which is why this fruit made it on this list. Unlike the venom fruit, the user of the magma fruit can turn into pure magma and have parts of their body blown off, but still be perfectly fine. This magma is so hot it can vaporize icebergs instantly and can also melt any flesh or metal it comes in contact with. You can also rain magma down from the sky and even form a dog-like fire beast. With this power, you're already an unstoppable foe to most people, and if you learn hockey on top of this, dude, you're just undefeated. Except for when Luffy comes for you, of course. Number 8, Enel's Goru Goru no Mi. It's really sad Enel got defeated so early on in the story because of how cool and powerful he really was. I get it, he was defeated by pre-time skip Luffy, but that's only because Luffy was the only person who had an immunity to Enel's lightning powers. So this fruit gives you the ability to turn into lightning, creating huge thunderbolts, and effectively this makes you invincible. Because remember, Enel actually never died, he just flew away in fear. According to what we know about this fruit, you can output a max of 200 million volts of electricity, and just for reference, a taser, like the one you see in those police videos, output only 50,000 volts. So just imagine 200 million. If Enel comes back later in the series, he's gonna be one crazy dude, and has the possibility to wipe out most of the competition. Number 7 is Fujitora's Press fruit. This is one of the newer fruits in the anime, and it is in the possession of one of the new admirals. This fruit gives the user the power to manipulate gravity, moving living and non-living things with little effort. You could pick up some rocks and throw it at your enemy, or an entire battleship, whatever you feel like picking up really. Using this ability, you can basically fly by moving objects under you upward, moving you around with it. One of the downsides of this fruit is if someone attacks Fujitora while he's using his abilities, he'll lose control of whatever he's moving, so it seems you need to have some level of focus when using the fruit. One of my favorite attacks he does is straight up called Trip the Hell, where he forces a group of enemies down into a crater at insane speeds using his gravity powers. While he is a pretty strong admiral, he's not as strong as number 6, Kizaru's Pika Pika no Mi. Have you ever wanted to create, control, and become light? Well, this devil fruit does just that. Kizaru is the owner of the Pika Pika no Mi, and is the chillest villain in the whole series in my opinion. But that doesn't mean he isn't crazy strong. Since he is literally light, he can move and kick at the speed of light. We see most of this fruit's power during Marineford, where Kizaru makes a sort of light and later does this light shooting attack, sending thousands of projectiles in many directions. His light pellets are perceived to be stronger than an ordinary bullet, which makes him pretty darn strong. The strongest part of this devil fruit though is the light beams you can create, which have only been stopped by one person, Sanji's foot. Okay, enough about feet. We're moving on to number 5, Big Mom Soru Soru no Mi. I'm gonna be straight up, this is a much better version of Gecko Moria's fruit. Instead of just playing around with someone's shadow, this fruit gives the ability to take the soul out of one's body and put it into an object. The user is able to take the soul of anyone who fears them, so just try to use the old BOO technique to scare them, you know. When taking the soul, the user is able to take as much of the person's lifespan as they want, whether that be a few seconds or their entire life, instantly killing them. So if you wanted to, you could take someone's soul and fuse it with a sword or a gun, and they'd be able to talk, but also shoot or cut like a sword or gun. Sounds pretty lame when I put it like that, but if you're creative enough, you can do a lot of things with this power. Some of the downsides to this fruit are you have to be close to your target to take their soul, and like mentioned earlier, you actually have to be afraid of them, so that's why Big Mom couldn't take the soul of Law or Kid. Much cooler than being able to turn people into a talking sword is being able to turn yourself into a dragon. That brings me to number 4, Kaido's Uo Uo no Mi. And every time I try to pronounce that name, I get roasted for it, so how the freak do you even say it then? Anyways, this is a mythical Zoan type, much like another person on this list that we'll get to in a minute. This fruit allows the user to turn into a huge eastern dragon, and you also get a massive boost in strength and speed. The user is strong in this form, and they can destroy entire buildings and villages just by flying past them. As seen in the anime, Kaido is even able to overpower Luffy's Haki, which is only a glimpse of this fruit's true power. You can also gain some supernatural abilities such as being able to create flame clouds to fly around with, and this fruit is also so precious it was considered a world noble treasure. And the only real weaknesses this fruit has is you can't transform in a small area obviously, and having such a large body makes you vulnerable to a large scale attack. But this is all child's play compared to the full power of this next fruit. Number 3, Luffy's Gomu Gomu no Mi. Now throughout the entire series, we only know Luffy's devil fruit as the Gum Gum fruit, and that was just what the world government renamed it because they didn't want the world to know the full power of this fruit. The real name is the Hito Hito no Mi Model Nika. This is also a mythical Zoan type and the most powerful type of devil fruit one can have. This fruit gives the user the ability to turn into a whole darn sun god named Nika, which also comes with his rubbery attributes. Around 900 years ago, before the events of the series, this fruit was owned by Joy Boy, often regarded as the first pirate ever. 13 years before the present events, the world government was finally able to capture Joy Boy's dangerous devil fruit after hundreds of years of hunting it down. During transport, Shanks the goat stole the fruit to where it was then eaten on accident by Luffy. When first eating it, the user will only have some rubber abilities, but after awakening it is where your true power will come from. You turn into this white god looking thing and have all these crazy Looney Tunes abilities like smacking your enemy all around. You unlock immense strength and freedom, and your powers are only limited by your imagination. One of the fruit's biggest weaknesses when not in awakened form is being greatly harmed by cutting attacks. But Luffy was still able to defeat Kaido, one of the 4 emperors, so I think a little knife ain't defeating him. Our next devil fruit though will prove to be a much harder opponent for Luffy, and that is Blackbeard's Dark fruit and his Quake fruit. I put both because Blackbeard holds both fruits, and I know this video is about the strongest devil fruits, not the strongest users, but whatever, sue me. Blackbeard uses both these together, which makes it more like an extra strong devil fruit. His first devil fruit, the Dark fruit, allows the user to consume anything, people, buildings, plants, into this dark black stuff, and then shoot it out all over the place. This Black Void was also able to consume Ace's firepower, and that's how he got captured and later killed. This fruit is extremely powerful because it can absorb another devil fruit's attacks, making many people defenseless against Blackbeard. The biggest weakness of this fruit is that when you do hit the user, they experience twice the amount of pain they usually would, as we see when Blackbeard acts like a little baby after getting hit by a bit of fire. Now Blackbeard's next fruit is arguably his most powerful, the Quake fruit. He obtained this one after sucking it out of dead Whitebeard's body, and this fruit has the power to make massive earthquakes and split apart buildings and even the sea with ease. You can also crack the air and send earthquakes flying towards your opponents, and the aftershocks of these massive earthquakes can kill most in a huge radius. It'll definitely be interesting to see the final fight between Blackbeard and Luffy, and will signify the battle of good and evil. Whoever comes out on top will be able to define the meaning of right and wrong, in a sense. Before we move on to the most powerful devil fruit in all of One Piece, I have one honorable mention, Law's OP fruit. With this fruit, you are able to perform impossible surgeries and cure any illness. It is often regarded as the ultimate devil fruit, because it can grant one person eternal life. The main attack of this fruit is creating a bubble where everything inside is able to be manipulated by the user. Whether that be taking the heads off your enemies or making everyone fly around, it's really up to the user. But the reason this devil fruit didn't make the top 10 is because in my eyes, the range of this room ability can only go so far, and you can't really attack in huge radiuses like the Quake fruit. And the eternal life thing kills the user in the process, which is pretty lame. And number 1, the most powerful devil fruit in all of One Piece is Emu's devil fruit. While this is the most powerful fruit, it is also the most mysterious. Like I've said many times before, Emu is the ruler of the One Piece world, and her very existence is known to only a few. She's so powerful, even the 5 elders bow down to her. From what we've seen of this entity, they are pretty darn powerful, with them holding one of the ancient weapons, capable of destroying entire islands with ease. We see Emu's devil fruit come into use when she transforms into this huge black blob looking beast, so her power seems to be a Zonin type devil fruit. There's a theory though that I subscribe to about Emu's devil fruit. It is rumored that she holds the water fruit and is able to manipulate the entire sea, which would also give her the ability to give all devil fruit users the weakness of not being able to swim. I mean, it low-key makes sense to me, but I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. And those were the most powerful devil fruits in One Piece. If you guys enjoy my list, make sure to subscribe because I plan to make a few more soon about the worst devil fruits and many other things One Piece and anime related. So that's it from me today. Thank you guys for watching as always, and I love you guys.